Hello everyone, welcome back for another Anything Goes Saturday. Today I am playing with my jelly plate. I haven't done anything with this in I don't know how long. So I'm going to use the jelly plate. I'm going to use some stencils, and from what I understand when I did my research, the more open the stencil it is, the better. I've got 3 here. We'll see how it goes. I have 2 kinds of paper. I have my white regular cardstock, and then I have my graphics paper. It's like Yupo paper, so I have both of those to use. I pulled in some alcohol inks. Now most people use acrylics. I don't want to use acrylics on my plate. I would rather use my inks. So I've got 4 different colors: soft lilac, water hyacinth, grassfield, and puffy hearts. We'll see how it goes. You need hand sanitizer. I have a spray bottle of alcohol. I have some acrylic gesso, and I have a brayer. So I'm going to kind of move things aside here and get out my jelly plate, if I can remember. I will tell you that well, see, I haven't used mine in so long it isn't funny, and I don't know if that's going to affect it or not, but that's going to be on the bottom anyway. I don't know why it did that. I don't know if it's what it is. If anybody knows what it is, let me know. Okay. All right. Now, the first thing we need to do is we need to add some hand sanitizer. And we're going to brayer this across. Oh. Okay. I got to remember, this is a new one for me, so it's different. And I may have put too much. We'll find out. Okay, there's that. Now I need my inks, and I'm going to start. I will tell you, this pink, oh, it's never been opened. This pink may take and stain the gel plate. So just be aware that yellows, pinks, reds, those colors can stain. All right. Well, some of these aren't opened at all. That one, no, that one's not either. Let me open these up. Okay, I'm back. Let me kind of spread this around a little bit more. There we go. All right, let's start with our pink. And I'm going to drop drops in various spots. I don't know what's going to happen with the green, if it's going to make mud or what. We'll find out. Now I'm going to add just a little bit of you know what? I need a paper towel to wipe that brayer off. Just because it's got... And I didn't quite do it right, but we'll find out. All right, and I'm going to use regular paper on this side. Oh, no. Well, I did it wrong already. So let me continue. All right, and that wasn't regular paper. That was... yeah, I use that for something. All right, now let's see. I think I can clean it with this, and we'll start again because I forgot to put down my stencil. I'm trying to use both sides, and I'm closing it up because it is alcohol ink, so I don't know if how fast it evaporates. Now, I'm not going to add any alcohol this time. What I'm going to do is just do a little that action. All right, now this is my graphics paper. And I'm kind of going, oh, I did it again. I cannot believe that. Oh, well. Where's my stencils? All right. Let's try this one. Let me add some pink and some green back in here and do some, just a little, I don't want to get rid of all my pink. All right, now let's try this again. And I may not be able to do two. All right, so I'm doing that. I'm going to grab a, I guess I should have used some rubber gloves, but I didn't think of it. All right, so there's that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, I'm going to go this way. And I'm going to press this down like so and lift it up. Well, I guess I didn't press very well. Let's see what happens. And then again, the stencil might be too, oh no, there's a good one. It's good there. All right, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take this stencil and I'm gonna move to the other table, but I'm gonna put this on top of here and see what happens. Well, not a whole lot, but that's okay. I may have needed to spray it with some ink. Alcohol. Now I want to dry this some, so I'm going to use my heater, my blower tool. All right, now I need to add some gesso. I've used this one, so. Oh. All right, I'm just going to add a little bit of gesso. Tiffany Solario is the one I watched. She used alcohol, ink, ink relifter refill. I didn't have that, so, and gesso usually takes a while to dry, so I'm just going to do a little bit. I don't know if it needs to dry or not. We're going to find out. All right, now the key is, without moving it, you have to really press down. And I'm going to make sure I do the middle. Okay, here we go. Well, I don't have my design, but I like the way that turned out. That's kind of cool. All right, there's one. Let's try a different stencil. And if need be, I'm going to move some of this out of the way. All right, let's try this again and see what happens. And I may try it without the, and I'm going to try darker colors. Those were the light colors. This is a medium, well, this is supposed to be a medium color, but no, those were mediums. This is lighter. Let's see what happens if we use lighter colors. This is a blue and a purple. Oh, I like what it's doing. I may not do the brayer on it. And let's see what happens. because adding the brayer mixes it more, and I kind of like the look of this. Let's see. All right, let me see if I can dry it some. I don't want to dry it too much. All right, let's try this stencil. And I did cut, I'm going to go this way with the stencil. And the reason being is, maybe I'm pushing down too much, I cut some more of the graphics paper. All right, now. Well, let's take that off. And I'm going to let that dry some. All right, I'm not going to try the gesso. Let's see what happens with this. Ooh, that's really pale, and there is some pattern to it. I'm thinking I need darker colors. All right, let me get a darker blue and a darker purple. Okay, I got the darkest blue and the darkest purple I can find in my stash. And I have a different stencil I'm going to use this time. Let's see what happens. I'm not putting down as much okay, I don't know how much Tiffany had used, so we'll see. Okay, this is really dark, so we'll find out. Okay. I'm seeing some open spots, so I'm adding some extra in there. All right, there's that. I don't know if I want to, just a tiny, tiny spritz. Okay, let's add our stencil. And I'm not going to touch it too much. I'm thinking, let me use my scissors. So there's that. Let's go with this, which is the graphics, and see what happens. The key is getting it up. Interesting. I probably could have done more with it. All right, now let's take this up. You know what? Before I take it up, let's try this paper. Let's see what I get. About the same. All right, now let's take this off, and I'm going to try drying this. All right, I'm going to try the gesso again. I am thinking that her idea of using the alcohol lifter may be the way to go. Oh, wrong way. All right, I'm going to let that dry, and then we'll come back and do it. Okay, I've let this dry quite a bit. let's see what happens. I'm going to try the regular cardstock and see what happens. So I'm going to put this down, and I'm going to take a piece of scrap paper to put on top. And press it down and see what happens. That way I don't have to worry about getting my hands messy. I don't know if this is going to work. We'll find out. Well, it's acting like it normally does when you pull. Well, I don't know why I'm not getting the right look. Let's try a piece of this and see what happens. This may not be one that works for me. And then I'd have to get the alcohol lifter re-inker. Says so. Not sure why. And then again, I don't know if my jelly plate is messed up. So let me get this out of the way and cleaned up. Okay. I wanted to do a card to show you how you could use it. So I did take this one and I cut it down. I will tell you, there's a, it's a rough background. I don't know if this one I had used, I'd have to go back to look. I don't know if I used gesso on this or not, but it's rough, but that's okay. So when I did this, I thought I would pair it, whoops, where's my card base? There it is. I thought I would pair it with pink, but it's going to be separated enough that it'll really bring that pink out. And I'm going to use a strip across the middle. And then I pulled in my Good Greetings too, and I'm going to use Just a Note as my sentiment. And then I had this scrap left. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to punch out some flowers. I have to strategically do this. And then I want at least one set of leaves, maybe two. All right. I don't need anything else. I think I can get another flower down here. Yeah. I think I can get another leaf down here on this end. Even if it's, I don't really need the long stem on it. I need a little bit more than that though. Here. All right, let's get our card going. So the first thing I'm going to do is add my, and this is the regular cardstock. I seem to have had a better luck with the regular cardstock than the photo paper. This piece is going to go on next. And the reason I'm adding this is I needed to hide that. This is, I thought it was, it's probably about 3/4 of an inch. It probably would have been better if it was smaller, but I didn't have it smaller. So there's that. Oh, and it's on crooked. Goodness gracious. Let me get this lined up better. Okay. And you know, it's not sticking to that. So I'm going to add some glue also so it'll stick. Probably because it's got a rough background. That might have been the gesso. All right, let's get this back online. I'm overlapping it just slightly. That looks better. All right, now I gotta trim this down. I knew I'd trimmed it too big. All right, so there's that. This then goes on the pink. And I think before I put it on my card base, let me see, my just a note. You know what? I'm gonna do some re-inking of just part of it. And I'm gonna take, I'm gonna go, let me put this, let me get back in frame here. I'm gonna do just, now I gotta wash this, okay? Now I'm gonna cut this in half because I'm going to do just the A, that there, ink up my A, put this back down again, do my A. All right, this off of here and line this up. So that's a way you can take and, yeah, I knew it was going to do that. I could tell by the way it was acting. Yeah, I got to leave it. I'll pull in my, oh, sorry. There we go. Okay. Now let me get my card base straight. I can add that to my card base. And I'm going to add those with little tiny dimensionals or foam adhesives just to give it a little bit of, all right. And then I want to hide this spot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all my flowers here. And then with my leaves, I'm going to cut the ends off. I might have to make it, cut it off more. Yeah, just a little bit. And I'm going to put some glue on the end of this. It probably would have been better if I'd had more pink to do the flowers with, but I didn't. So, give me a minute. There, at least now you can see it. And to finish it off, I'll add some gold gems, and I'm going to add the big ones in there. Oh, much better. Yeah, I missed a petal right there. So let me get that. Not sure about this technique. If you try it and you have success, send me a message and tell me what you did. Thanks for joining me. Have a super Saturday. Bye.